What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we're going to do things a little differently today. Ever since I started filming in my car, a lot of you been asking questions. Hey, what kind of car is that? In the comment section. So today I figured I'd make a video showcasing the car that I sit in. Now, the only reason why I'm sitting in the car, I mentioned it before, is because I got tired of setting up the studio lights in the apartment. And like I said, I gotta put my wife and daughter in the room and I gotta lock them inside and make sure they don't make any noise while I'm recording. So I figure it's easier to just make a video while I'm sitting in my car and talk to you guys about whatever it is that I want to talk to you guys about. So I figured I'll make a video to show you guys the car that I'm sitting in, where all the videos come from, and also talk to you guys about some of the things that I like and also some of the things that I don't like. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So this is the 2017 Lexus RC 350 F Sport. And I'm talking about, man, this thing is gorgeous. The camera doesn't do it justice, first of all. Now, this car, I got it used maybe late 2019, I believe. And that's when the interest rates were low. That was like right around the time where COVID was starting. When I bought it, it had about maybe 17,000 miles. And now we're at 97,000 miles. So I'm gonna show you under the hood, underneath, and talk about some of the things, like I said, I hate and some of the things that I really love about this car. Now, with 97,000 miles, I gotta say this thing is still holding up in good shape. The acceleration, the throttle response, the transmission, everything is shifting as it should. And there's not too many manufacturers out there where you can get a car with 97,000 miles and for underneath to be bone dry. I'm talking about no oil leaks. Not the fastest in the world. It's not fast at all. So you don't buy an RC 350 for speed. But what you do buy it for is the combination of the looks. It still turns heads wherever you go, wherever you park, but at the same time, it can be a great daily driver. And that's one of the things that I really love about this car. I drive it to and from work every day, about a 20-mile commute, 20-plus mile commute back and forth every day. It handles great. The steering, the suspension, the braking capability, the reliability of the engine. That's another thing too. This thing comes with a 2GR FSE engine, V6. They do have a V8 option, but it costs an arm and a leg to get the RCF. That's what they call it. This is a RC 350 F Sport. With the F Sport, you get the interior of an F somewhat without the V8 engine. And the one that I got right here is a RC 350. It comes with a 2GR FSE, a 3.5 liter V6 naturally aspirated engine. That's something you don't see around in the Toyota world. This is something that's in demand right now because the customers right now, they do not want nothing to do with the turbo engines. So this is something that if you have one, you better hold on to it because the naturally aspirated V6, 4-cylinder engines, V8, it seemed like it's a thing in the past. It seemed like everything is going to turbo engines. So if you have one, hold on to it for dear life because they may not be around much longer. So let's take a look underneath the hood, first of all. Underneath the hood here, you can see it. For a 17 with 97,000 miles, you can see the inside of the engine bay is still holding up really good. The wiring harness is still well intact. The rubber hoses still well intact. Nothing's cracking, nothing's starting to flake off. And like I said, one of the main things that I really appreciate about this car is the fact that it has no leaks. If you take a look underneath, the camera won't do it justice. I wish I could zoom in and give you guys a better picture quality, but underneath it is bone dry, man. And one of the things that I really like about this car is with 97,000 miles, I haven't had a check engine light yet. Not a single light on the dash has ever illuminated. Everything is still bone dry, still pretty much stock. The only thing that I did do to this car is a rear muffler delete. So you can see the burnt tips in the back. That's all I did. I didn't change out the resonator. I didn't do anything with the catalytic converter, or I didn't do anything with the pipes on the side of the cylinder heads. Just a rear muffler delete. That's it. Never had a check engine light, never had anything. Not that that would cause a check engine light, but I really appreciate that about this car. What else do I like about the car? Well, let's take a look at the front. The lights, the spindle grille. Some people hate it, but me, man, I love that spindle grille. The Nike check mark right there underneath the headlights. Oh, man, that looks so nice, especially at night, especially when you get that thing nice and detailed and waxed. Oh, that car looks so nice, man. The Nike check mark, ooh, I don't think it just looks like nothing else out there. And like I said, for a 17, it still looks like a 2024 model, still can compete with the latest generations of cars that's coming out. You wouldn't be able to tell if I'm driving this on the road that it's a 7, about to be 8-year-old car. It still looks like what's being produced today, if not better. Like I said, I really love the front end. Some people don't like the spindle grille, but I love it, man. The little details around the body that you have to see in person to really appreciate. The camera won't do it justice. It's not the fastest, but if you need the combination of a sporty look / daily driver, nothing else beats the RC. So what else do I like about this car? If you take a look inside, look at how the leather seats are holding up. The steering wheel, the leather is well intact. I mean, not too many people sit on the passenger seat unless me and my wife are going on a date night and I take the RC out. Well, usually the family car, we usually drive the 24 Highlander. That's usually what me and my wife and my daughter will usually ride in wherever we need to go. So I'm usually only in the RC when I'm going to and from work. Rarely does anybody ever sit in the passenger seat. So it's still holding up pretty good. But if you look at the driver's seat, no tears yet. I do okay taking care of the leather. Not the best. I usually wash the car now. When I first got it, it was like every 4 days, I would try to at least wash and wax, try to make sure that thing's spotless. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to strip the clear coat off. So now I try to wash it at least every every week and a half or so. I know I get really lazy. But the front seat, the interior is holding up really nice, guys. It's not having the issue where the dashboard would start cracking in high heat or high humidity area with high temperatures. That was a thing that the old IS used to have back in the days with Lexus. The dashboard would start cracking. Even Toyotas too, the Camrys, the Celeros. We were replacing dashboards left and right a few years ago. But it seemed like whatever material they're using nowadays to make these dashes is holding up really well. So I got to give them a A+ on that. So the interior of the RC350 I really love, man. The red combination with the white on the outside, man, ooh, it's unmatched. It can't be matched. So this RC comes with heated seats, cooled seats, memory seats, the whole 9 yards. There's not really much space in the back to really fit an adult passenger, but like I said, you don't buy this car to ride deep. The only person that usually gets in the back is usually my daughter. And that was a while back when I used to have to pick her up. And every once in a while, my wife would leave the car seat behind. So that's the only person that ever really sat in the back. So the back, very little use, very little wear and tear, still in mint condition, and the leather's not cracking or anything. Another cool feature that I really love about the RC is the way you control the AC switches or the AC temperature. It's not a touch, really. It's more like it is a touch, but you just kind of glide your finger up and down to control the temperature inside. And same thing for the passenger side as well. So it does have dual AC servo motors where you can control the passenger and the driver's side independently. For such a small car, I think it's pretty cool. Did it really need to have that feature in there? So because it's so compact? Another thing that I really appreciate, if you look at these control switches on the AC unit, they're not peeling off. They're still holding off pretty well. Everything about the interior of this car. And I don't put any sunshade or anything like that to keep things protected. I just park the car. I don't put anything on the windshield. But for it to be holding up this well, it's an A+. Another cool feature that I love is the combination meter. I love the way it displays the speed, the RPMs, how it changes if I go from Eco to Sports, Sports Plus. And I love the option that it gives you to either have the speedometer be centered, or you can slide it over like this and you can have a little multi-information display popped up to the left of it. That's another cool feature. So whatever your preference is, and you can choose how you want to leave the speedometer. One of the things that I was worried about is that over time, that little mechanism that moves the speedometer left and right would get stuck. But so far, I still push a button. It just moves real easy. It doesn't get stuck. It works really well. So this is how it looks on startup. You got a nice little cool animation display on the radio display unit, and then some cool animation display pops up on the speedometer as well. It's the little things. Most important of all, it's a daily driver. I drive this car every day, no matter where I'm going, to and from work, the grocery store. I just get in it, and off I go. Another cool feature I love is this touchpad. Lexus is known for using these kind of selecting, hovering over the radio display unit or the options on there. You just kind of swipe your finger over this touchpad and it controls whether you want to go to the radio, multimedia, other settings in the radio display. The radio display itself is not touchscreen. Everything is done through this little command. It's like a little mouse. Well, I think it's pretty cool. So I don't have to reach all the way and touch the radio. Instead, I could keep my arm on the armrest and do minor or major adjustments or customization right there on the radio. I think that's a nice, cool touch too. Comes with all, and not to mention, it comes with all the bells and whistles. Blind spot monitor, park assist, pre-collision, radar cruise control, paddle shifters on the side of the steering wheel. Like I said, this is a great daily driver. When you open the sunroof, I love the way it opens up at a 45-degree angle like that. I was a little worried about driving on the highway with it open. It just seems like the wind hitting off of it is just gonna yank it off sooner or later, but I've driven with it on the highway and nothing ever happens. It's a little noisy, but it's a cool look. But when you're cruising around town, you have that sunroof at that 45-degree angle like that. Wee! You riding clean. That thing looks so nice. I ain't even gonna lie. Now we talked about some of the things that I love. Well, Junior, is there anything you hate about it? Is there anything you dislike? Is there anything you wish Toyota would have did better? Yeah, there's a few things that I hate. Now, the gas mileage on this, it's not as bad as a V8 engine, but it's not as good as a Prius. I mean, it's not a Prius. It's not a hybrid, so I don't expect it to be. But usually between driving in eco mode and every once in a while I put it in sports plus, I get right now about 19.2 miles per gallon average, which is, like I said, it's not the best. It's not the worst either, but it seemed like every couple of days I'm at the gas station putting gas. It does run on 93 octane premium gas. And like I said, every 4 days I got to put gas. And, you know, the gas mileage, it could be a little bit better. That's what you get with a naturally aspirated engine. You got to give and take. So do you want the 4-cylinder eco-friendly turbo engines that they're producing now that gets great gas mileage? Or do you want your naturally aspirated engine? So that's what you got to weigh out. But the MPG, I wish it could have been a little bit better. Here's something else that I don't like about it. The brake dust that accumulates on the front rims. So here I show you. So this is before I detailed the car. If you take a look at the rear wheels, you can see it's a lot cleaner than the front wheels. Why is that? Well, the way they have the front brakes set up, you have these vents on the front of the grille that channels air right through them. And then that air passes through these ducts right in front of the bumper, and that air cools off the rotors. That's good. It keeps your rotors, your two-piece rotors, nice and cool, so you don't have to worry about warping them. It stays at a nice, consistent temperature. That's fine. It gets to be cooled off quickly, and it stays at a moderate temperature. Well, what's the problem with that? As you're driving and braking, that brake dust is just being accumulated on the rim. So if you detail your car, I'll say you got a good maybe 4 days before you start seeing brake dust start to accumulate on the front rims. The back rims stay nice and shiny after you detailed it for a couple of days, weeks, so on and so forth. But the front wheels, within 4 days, you're gonna start to see some brake dust accumulate on the front rims. Like I said, that's one of the things I do not appreciate. I do not like so much about the RC350. Little minor things, there's nothing to really throw a hissy fit for. Call Toyota or Lexus and say this car sucks. But when you just detail your car and you have to anticipate within 4 days, brake dust starting to accumulate on your front rims, you know, that could be an issue, especially when you want to keep it nice and clean. But I get the idea. The idea serves a nice purpose. Those two ducts in the front there, like I said, channels the air through, keeps the rotors nice and cool, so you don't have to worry about warping your rotors out as often as other cars, because these brakes, they are aggressive. The stopping power in the RC350 is something that's really underrated. And I know you see the calipers right here. The caliper is big, but if you look at the pads are like really tiny. They're like so small, but it is a 4-piston caliper. Here's something else I do not like about it. I go through brake pads constantly. I say I get a good maybe every 30,000 miles or so. It seems like I'm changing brake pads. And these rotors, Lexus don't recommend you resurface them, so you gotta get a whole new one. And these two-piece rotors are not cheap. These two-piece rotors are like $350 each with an employee discount. So if you're a regular customer out there, you're paying over $400 each side. So a set of rotors is going to cost me around $700, give or take, plus the pads. I'm close to around $800 just for a brake job for the front. That's something else I don't appreciate. And that's around every 30,000 plus miles. It seemed like I have to do a front brake job. The rears, perfectly fine. I haven't touched them. I probably only touched them once since I got the car. But the front, I already did at least 2 or 3 times. I lost count. I feel like, in my opinion, the brake pads are a little bit too tiny for the brake application that this car needs. It stops really well. You're coming down off a ramp on the highway, from the highway, it stops on a dime. No issues there. But every 30,000 miles, you better save some money aside to get ready to replace these rotors and pads. So that's something I really don't like about it. So overall, that's pretty much it, guys. And the tires, these tires are staggered, so the front ones are different than the tires in the rear. The rear tires are staggered, so I can't rotate them front to rear. But that's something that I want for the car. It looks really nice. The back tires are nice and fat. But what's the problem? Like I said, I do a lot of highway driving with this car. So as often as I'm replacing brakes for the front, I'm also replacing tires. So right now I'm running Continental Extreme Contact Sports tires because it really looks nice with the wheels, and I love the tread depth, and I love the way it grips and handles on the road. But as you can see right now, I'm gonna need some tires soon. And right now these tires run me about $220 with the employee discount that I get at my job. So you're talking about $1,000, close to $1,000 on a set of tires every time I need to change them. And the con to it is I can't rotate them front to rear. I just gotta leave them where they're at, maybe rotate them side to side. That's about it. So that's really the downside, is the maintenance part. The tires are expensive. If you want some cheap tires you want to put on it, fine, then don't even bother getting an RC. But I feel like the Continental Extreme Contact Sports is the best deal I can get. Michelin Pilot Sports, they're about like $300-400 each for this car. But, the best that I can do right now is some Continental Extreme Contact Sports. And even then, I'm going to have to replace them soon. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's the car you see me sitting in, making my videos, because I don't want to lock my wife and daughter up in the room. I don't want to hold them hostage. So I'd rather just sit in my car and record content for you guys. If I need to talk about some recalls, that's why you see me sitting in my car making these videos. It's a lot easier, honestly. I just have my Sony camera mounted up to the windshield with a nice 16mm lens. Can't go wrong. That's the image you guys are looking at right now. I just upgraded the lens. Couldn't wait to try it out. So let me know what you guys think. So that's the car, guys, a 2017 Lexus RC350. Those are some of the things that I love, which are great. And those are the few things that I really hate. Minor things, nothing to throw a hissy fit for. Like I said, nothing to call Toyota and Lexus saying this car sucks. Would I buy this car again? Absolutely. Would I recommend this car? Absolutely. For a daily driver / sports kind of coupe, nothing else beats it. Like I said, I drive this thing to and from work every day, and no check engine light have ever come on. AC is still blowing ice cold. I have never topped it off, never did an evac and recharge. Like I said, and underneath is bone dry, no oil leaks. So I parked this thing, not a single drop of oil underneath the floor. So you can't beat that, man. With 97,000 miles, I don't think there's another manufacturer out there that you can get this from. Naturally aspirated V6 engine, 2GR FSE. It comes with both port and direct injection. So in the future, I plan on doing some diagnostic tips to show you guys on how to plug a scan tool in, look at some engine data parameters, what they mean, and hope you guys can diagnose your car by yourself while you're at home. I don't want to do stuff like that with customer cars. I usually like to film customer cars when they come in with the problem already, existing in their car. I don't want to create stuff just so I can make video. So I really try to use my own personal car, start unplugging stuff to show you guys how it looks in the data parameters and how we use stuff from the data list to help us with diagnostic and diagnosing these cars. So that's all I got for you guys today. Can't wait to come up with some of these content ideas that I have for the channel. Like I said, I'm still working on the ability to go live. I'm still working on the setup to do that so I can answer questions for you guys. It will be a lot easier instead of writing them in the comments. And like I said, if you're interested in trying to diagnose your car, you want a second opinion, go ahead and sign up for that membership. and I'll be able to have priority reply to your comments because it's kind of difficult to read everybody's comment and try to respond. But YouTube incentivizes memberships because they get a cut, but it will highlight your comments. I'll be able to see it so much faster instead of just laying on my bed, shuffling through comments. Your comments will be prioritized. YouTube will let me know, hey, this person who is a member has commented and they have a question that they want answered. And shout out to Pedro. I don't want to dox your whole name, your last name, but thank you for becoming a member. Like I said, when I created this channel, I did not expect to have 4.6 thousand subs, let alone create a member program and then have somebody sign up. So thank you, Pedro. I don't want to dox your whole name, but if you're watching this video, I really appreciate it, bro. Any question you have, feel free to ask me. Any tips you need, second opinion, I'm right there for you, brother. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you guys so much. And the ladies who are watching this channel. There's a few females too, but the majority are males, but the females are there watching. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Like I said, many great ideas are yet to come, many more great content. I'm still coming up with ideas, trying to balance what you guys want to see, what's relevant. And I don't want to make videos about nonsense, first of all. You know, sometimes I go on YouTube and I see these guys making videos, oh, Toyota's trucks or Toyota cars are sitting on the lot, they're not selling. I don't see what you guys get from that unless you were planning on going out there to go look at the inventory. I like to make content that's going to help you and you can actually benefit and gain something from it. Not just random content about cars sitting at the dealership lot. Toyotas can't sell their cars. I don't really have an interest in making those kind of videos. So that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it, guys. Like I said, never thought I'd be here. So I hope you guys find this video informative, even though it's about my car, talking about things that I like, things I don't like. You never know. Maybe you're on the market for an RC and you never know about some of these features that I talked about. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for the support from the bottom of my heart. And as always, thanks for watching.